channel if you haven't been new here. My name is Jess. I cannot believe it is already almost December. By the time this video goes up, it will be the 1st of December, so hello, welcome to December. I am so excited. I really like December because it is like the family month. It's the month you get to see all your friends and family and really celebrate the holidays. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas. We're not really big Christmas fans per se in my house. We just kind of use it as an excuse to get together and see each other and spend time together. Obviously there is like gift exchange and things like that, but it's really just an excuse and a time of year when there is no excuse for not spending time with your family. Also, my husband's birthday is Christmas Eve, so that's usually what we celebrate, but besides that, today's video is going to be my wrap up for November. I cannot believe the year has gone by already. I know, it's just been so fast. I don't even know. I have quite a few books to show you. I'm surprised that I actually read this many because I wasn't planning on reading a whole lot this month except for the book that we did for Hyper Not. But let's go ahead and just get started because I have quite a few, and some of these I actually got from the library, so I don't have physical copies of them, but I will put them on the screen here for you guys. So the first book that I have here is actually a little worse for wear because I did keep it in my purse. I need to invest in like a book sleeve or something like that because my books are just getting destroyed. It would be The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakavic. As you can see, it's like wearing down a little bit, but I really enjoyed this book. So our book follows our main character Neil, who's on the run from his father. His father's kind of in the mafia, but he's also like a murderer and things like that. And Neil is trying to keep his anonymity and make sure that no one figures out who he is. And he's drafted into the Palmetto State University XC team, which is a college team, and he's still trying to maintain his anonymity while he's in that team. But the reason why I really love this book is just because of all the characters in it. I thought the characters were really interesting. Not all of them are lovable. A lot of them have problems. That's kind of the point of the team. It's kids who are down and out. Really love this story because even if I hated a character, 15 pages later I was loving them. I just really like the character development in this, and if you know me well, you know that I am all about the characters. A world can be very boring as long as the characters are good for me. I'm totally fine. Usually it's split 50-50, but I love both the world because obviously it takes place in our world, and I really love the characters, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Now I do have quite a few books that I actually DNF'd this month, and I will go into those because they all kind of happened at once. I started and DNF'd Shadowless by Hasan Ali Toptas. That was a book that was translated from Turkish into English, and I think I just had a lot of trouble with the translation that they did. I think it was done very well, but for me it just didn't click. I have kind of a bad history with books that are translated into English, and I don't know why. If you know of any good books that were obviously written in a different language and were translated into English, please leave them down below because I would be really interested in reading them. I read another couple of books that I really didn't like that were translated that way, but I don't know, it was just about a barber who kind of goes missing and then the town starts searching for him, and it just didn't really connect with me, so I did start and DNF that this month as well. And then unfortunately I did try to read Dogs of the Perimeter by Madeline Tien, and I did not like that either. The book was just kind of all over the place. I was trying to step out of my comfort zone and read something a little bit different for me, but I don't even think that if I had been, I don't think it had anything to do with my mood. I think it just wasn't the book for me this month. And the first book that I got from the library that I don't actually have the copy of anymore would be Armada by Ernest Cline. I actually really loved that book. I know a lot of people say that it isn't as great as Ready Player One because that is sort of what Ernest is known for, but I still actually really enjoyed it. I think it was a really great book. I think it was very well written. I think I'm just a fan of Ernest's writing. I really like the storyline as well. It is about a boy whose father dies, and he's kind of left just him and his mom, and he's incredibly smart, but he kind of idolizes his dad and owns all of the things that his dad used to own, and he is a very big video gamer as well, so he has all of his dad's video game stuff and he plays video games himself. And there's a game called Armada, and he is really obsessed with it. He's on like the top 5 of the most well-known characters, like the best characters for the game. And he's in school one day and he actually starts seeing the aliens from the game, and the story sort of takes off from there where you find out the aliens actually do exist and he's been drafted to fight them in a war. And this book was just really like twists and turns. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of action, and if you're looking for kind of like a spacey book, because that's what it was, I think that you'd really enjoy that one. Now the next one that I have for you guys have already seen my full review on because that will already be up before this video, and it is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I won't go too much in depth. I did give this 4 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it, but it took me about 250 pages to get into it, which from what I hear is like a normal thing for this book, but I still really enjoyed it, and if you're looking for like magical realism, this is definitely the book for you. And second to last book that I read this month was actually a book that I was sent for review, and it is Nixia by Scott Rinkin. I don't know how to say his last name. If you do, please let me know. I love this book. It follows our main character Emmett, and he is given a chance to kind of provide for his family, but what he has to do is actually go to an alien planet and mine a resource that is in that alien planet. Now, most of the book takes place on a spaceship on their journey to that planet. I'm sure this is going to be a trilogy from what I heard, but I really like this because it had a whole lot of characters being pitted against each other. They have to try out, essentially. They are all picked, but only 10 of the 12 that are chosen can continue on, and I really love this book. I really love the characters. It made me laugh. It literally made me laugh out loud. It made me cry. I absolutely loved it. If you're looking for like a spacey book, like I said, I think that you'd really like this. Now, the last book I read had to have been the hardest book I've ever read in my life. Not because it was difficult to read in the sense of it was written badly, but just because it really, really makes you think. And it is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I actually got this copy from my library. I've been looking for a copy of this from my library for a very long time because honestly I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because I've read a couple of negative reviews, but most of the reviews that I read have just been absolutely stunning for this book. This book follows our main character Star, who is in the car with a boy that she has known her entire life, and that boy is actually killed by a police officer at just a stop. He stops them for speeding or the tail light out, and it follows her activism in the Black Lives Matter movement, and this book just really spoke to me. I obviously can't relate to everything that happens to Star in this book because I am a white female living in the United States. I could not connect to some of this, but it was so refreshing to read and so hard to read at the same time. But I really, really love this book. I love her family. I love how open and honest Angie was in her writing about things. The main character Star, her boyfriend, is actually white, and there is a lot of questions that are raised between their relationship, and I just really enjoyed it. I don't know. I just think that this is a book that everybody should read. I think it is invaluable and very important, and I think the thing that really gets me about this book is it's so realistic and true. That's what's really heartbreaking. It is not, while being a work of fiction, it is still very, very believable because things like this unfortunately do happen in the United States, and I think it's very important for everyone to read this because it is a great resource for what the Black community is actually going through. Alright guys, so that is it for all of the books that I read this month. Not a whole lot, but I wanted to get started on my TBR because yeah, it's December and I feel like it's probably the month to take it easy, but I actually didn't take it easy at all with the books that I chose. So the first book that I have here for my TBR for December is actually a book that I started a buddy read with my friend Destiny like 3 months ago, and I never finished it. I'm probably like 30 pages into it. It is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. If you guys are familiar with my channel at all, you will know that me and Rainbow don't necessarily get along. I am not the biggest fan of her writing, but from what I read of this book, I actually really am starting to enjoy it. I'm 19 pages in, actually, I lied. If you're familiar with the book Fangirl, this is actually the fan fiction that the main character of that book is writing, Kath. I was more drawn to the fanfic that she was writing than the actual story of Fangirl, so I think I'll really like this. It seems like a gay Harry Potter from what I've been told. That's kind of what people market it as, and I'm still really, really excited to read it. I've been wanting to read this book pretty much since I finished the first one, and I think I'm just gonna get around to it this month. It is The Raven King by Nora Sakovic. This is the second book in the Foxhole Court series. I'm really excited to read this. The cliffhanger that the first book left off on really left me wanting more, so I'm very, very excited to pick this up and actually read it this month, and this may be the first book that I pick up. And because it is Christmas time, of course, I'm gonna do my annual reread of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone, depending which one you have. This is obviously my special edition one, which of course I'm going to be carrying around with me because I gotta represent the Slytherins. I'm not gonna go too in depth about what this book is about because obviously most people have read this or most people have seen the movies. Everyone's pretty much familiar with it. I've been contemplating rereading the entire series, and I'm hopefully going to be doing that probably at the beginning of the year, but I'm really excited to dive back into this world. And the next book is actually our choice for Hypernaut, and I'm really excited to read it. We tried to pick a shorter, easier book to read this month, and that would be This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I have heard so many great things about this. One of the girls actually in our group has already read it and absolutely adored it, so she is really pumped to reread it, and I know somebody that I value the opinion of is willing to reread a book. I know it's going to be a good book, so I'm very, very excited to read this. I know nothing about this book. I've been trying to avoid spoilers completely. I don't even know the storyline of this book. I really just want to go into it completely blind. If you have read this, please leave down below what you thought of it, and follow along on the Hypernaut group, which is linked in my description box if you guys are interested. Alright, I have had this book for too long to have not read it. I am the person who reads all of Stephen King's books when they come out, and I have not read this one. It is Wendys Button box. This is a collaboration between Stephen King and Richard Chismar. I'm really excited to read this. It is a shorter book, which is why I have it on my TBR for this month, but I've heard really good things about it. I was waiting to kind of see the reviews on it, and it's getting about 4 stars, so I am very excited. As you guys know, I'm Stephen King trash. I absolutely love him, so I'm really, really pumped to read this book. And once again, another book that I've had for quite a while that I just need to go ahead and sit down and read because it's just sitting on my shelves and I've read everything else by this author. It is Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. I have heard really great things about this book, and I'm really excited because I'm not a huge DC fan, but I am like a woman empowerment fan, so I think it's really important that Leigh Bardugo was given this opportunity to write this book, and I'm really excited to read it and support her. We all know I'm not a huge fan of Six of Crows or Crooked Kingdom. However, I love every single book other than that Leigh Bardugo has ever written. I will pick up every book. She's probably an auto-buy author for me at this point, and I'm really excited to finally get into this. A lot of my friends have read it and said it's more dialogue and character development than it is action, which is totally fine with me because, like I said, that's my favorite kind of book. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That is all the books that I read in November and all the books I plan on reading in December. I say plan because December gets really hectic for everybody, even for my family. Normally we only really get together Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but it's still very hectic. There's a lot of like shopping and, you know, friend things, and we have like our Christmas party at work, and oh my god, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but it slows down at work, so hopefully I'll have quite a bit of time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!